Ever had one of those moments where something happens and you know it shouldn't be possible, but it still is? Like your brain is trying to explain it, but nothing makes sense. This is one of those stories. And the worst part is, it didn't just happen once. The first time it happened, I thought I pressed the wrong button. I live on the 8th floor, and that night everything was normal. I got into the elevator, pressed 8, leaned back, and waited. The doors closed, the elevator started moving, and I watched the numbers light up one by one. 4, 5, 6, nothing unusual. Then suddenly, it stopped. No sound, no jerk, just a smooth stop. I looked up at the panel, expecting to see 8, but there was nothing. No number. Just a blank screen. That's when the doors opened. I expected the usual hallway, the same one I've walked through every day for the past 2 years. Instead, I saw my apartment. My bedroom. Exactly as it was. The bed unmade, the chair in the corner, my jacket hanging off it like I left it. I didn't move at first. I couldn't. My brain just refused to accept what I was looking at. There was no hallway, no walls, no other doors. Just my room, sitting right in front of me like the elevator had opened directly into it. The lights were on too, which didn't make sense because I clearly remembered turning them off before I left. I slowly stepped forward, just a little, not fully inside, just enough to look closer. Everything looked exactly right, but something felt wrong. It took me a second to realize what it was. The bed. Someone was sitting on it. Their back was turned to me, completely still, like they were waiting. They were wearing my clothes. Same hoodie, same pants. I froze instantly. My chest tightened and I could feel my heart pounding so hard it almost hurt. Because I knew something for sure in that moment, I wasn't inside my apartment. But somehow, something else was. I didn't think, I just stepped back and hit every button on the panel. The doors closed immediately, like they weren't supposed to stay open for long. The elevator started moving again, and this time the numbers came back. 7, 8. Ding. The doors opened, and everything was normal again. My floor. My hallway. Same dull lighting, same silence. I stood there for a second, trying to convince myself I imagined everything. Then I ran. I don't even remember unlocking the door properly. I just rushed inside, turned on the lights, checked every room. Nothing. Everything was exactly how I left it. Lights off. Empty. Quiet. I walked slowly into my bedroom, almost afraid of what I might see. The bed was empty. No one there. No sign that anyone had been sitting on it. I stood there, breathing hard, trying to calm down, telling myself it was some kind of hallucination, some weird elevator malfunction, anything that made sense. Then I looked at the chair in the corner. And that's when my stomach dropped again. The chair was empty. Completely empty. My jacket wasn't there anymore. I just stood there, staring at it, trying to process what that meant, because I hadn't touched it, and there was no way it could have moved on its own. I checked the rest of the apartment again, slower this time, opening every closet, every cabinet, even looking under the bed like a kid. Nothing. No one. But the jacket was gone. I didn't sleep that night. Or the next one. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that version of my room inside the elevator, and that figure sitting on the bed, wearing my clothes. After a few days, I started convincing myself it didn't happen, that I was stressed or tired or just imagining things. I avoided using the elevator as much as I could, taking the stairs even when it was exhausting. But eventually, I had to use it again. It was late, almost midnight, and I told myself it would be fine. Just press the button, go up, get out, nothing else. I got in, pressed 8, and stood there watching the panel like it owed me an explanation. 4, 5, 6, normal. 7, then it stopped. No number. The panel went blank again. And before I could even react, the doors opened. I didn't step forward this time. I didn't move at all. Because I already knew what I was going to see. My bedroom. Same angle. Same layout. But this time, the lights were off. Completely dark. I could barely see anything inside, just the outline of the furniture. And then, slowly, something moved. Not in the room. In the elevator reflection. I looked up instinctively, and for a split second, I saw it. Behind me. Standing inside the elevator. Wearing my jacket. I spun around instantly, but there was nothing there. When I turned back, the doors slammed shut on their own, and the elevator dropped suddenly, like it skipped floors. My legs almost gave out. The panel lit up again. 6, 7, 8. Ding. The doors opened. My hallway. Normal. Silent. Empty. I didn't run this time. I walked out slowly, every step feeling heavier than the last. When I got to my apartment door, I hesitated. Because for the first time, I wasn't sure what I would find inside. I opened it anyway. Everything looked normal again. Too normal. I walked into my bedroom, already knowing what I'd see. The chair in the corner. And on it, my jacket. Folded neatly. Like someone had just placed it there. If you made it this far, let me ask you something. What would you have done in that situation? Would you go back into that elevator again, or never step inside it ever again? If you enjoy stories like this, make sure to follow, because there's a lot more coming. And if you've ever experienced something that didn't make sense, something you still can't explain, drop it in the comments.